Hello and welcome to the Animation Lounge, the podcast for all things animation. In today's episode, I have a chat with Icko. We discuss how both of us got into art and animation. We talk about our character design, where Icko gives some really helpful tips. I go on a rant about how I made my first ever animation. We discuss the different things we've started doing now that we're animators, and so much more. But before I get right into it, I want to say that I think I'm going to be changing the content I'm putting out on my channel at the moment. I'll still be making animations, but as you can see, I haven't posted in months, and that's because I've just not been feeling any motivation with the animations I've been putting on my channel so far. So, you'll be seeing some podcasts, some animations, but also some other content where I talk more in detail about some cool animation topics, and maybe even some tutorials. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the podcast. What was the first thing that got you into art or animation?
Okay, original.
I'm ready.
Original story incoming. There was a YouTuber named Domix, and I watched, and I liked it, and then I watched the other ones out, and then I saw his map, and then I saw animators who were the same age as me, and I'm like, that's cool. I'm doing that now.
I actually found Storytime Animators before I found them recently. Like, in between my massive... So I went through an artsy phase where I was drawing, like, doodling from Tom Gates, and then I later found Storytime Animators, and I started animating myself. But what I missed out... That's a very quick summary. What I missed out was, I actually found Errol's Story and Domix before that. And I don't know, I can't remember how or why, they just popped up and recommended, and I watched them for a bit. And I think I probably spent about a month just watching them. And then they stopped being my recommended, probably because I watched all their videos and, animators once a month upload. So then I just stopped watching them.
Yeah.
And I kind of forgot about that really until just now, just thinking about it.
Yeah, but I started watching, and then, I think it was Infamous Swoosh who was in the map. The Odd Ones Out map, and then I clicked on his suggested channels and found Luke or something, and Brody and Aiden. The Aidini Tortellini. There's a bunch of Aidens
gang.
in the animation community. Yeah, that was 5.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was very interesting.
One thing we spoke about we spoke about this very briefly over messages, but you've made a video, a Steven Universe video. Which is like a cover of a Steven Universe song.
The song.
Yeah, so you like Steven Universe, question mark?
I do, very much. Because I mean, less intense now, but still very much.
Because I've watched the first 2 seasons of Steven Universe, and it's very enjoyable and fun and good. But one thing that I've liked about it, and also one thing that I heard about it, I think I was listening to a podcast, I can't remember what it was, but they were talking about the difference between storyboarding and then scripting, and then story. Like, the difference between scripting and storyboarding, and how, doing which ones and how it influences how you animate in the process. And I'm pretty sure they said that Steven Universe, they storyboard first, and they go off of their storyboard. And I think that's really interesting, because I've never heard of anyone or anything doing it differently, to be honest, to the conventional way of... Well, I don't know if it's conventional, but it's conventional for what I've seen of scripting and storyboarding. And I think, now that I think about it, it's kind of, it shows, because I would say the style is a bit more infrequent. I don't know if that's a thing, but because they have to base themselves more off of the storyboard, it shows more.
Yeah. They also, animate on paper, which is its own.
Do they I didn't actually know that. I didn't know that they animated on paper. That's amazing.
Yeah, they do their animations. They ink and color on computers, but yeah.
Wow. God,
that's very incredibly hard. But
have you ever tried animating on paper?
I have. Let's just say I stick to digital animation.
Yeah, I thought about. Because, I'm thinking about, I need to make a show reel and a portfolio. And I was thinking it probably would be quite useful to have just, maybe just one, traditional animation there. But then I don't know if it's worth it.
Yeah, no, it's very, very challenging.
Am I right? I'm pretty sure Gravity Falls also did the same thing with that, with, doing on paper. I don't know if you've seen Gravity Falls, but...
Gravity Falls does look very good as well. That's another one of my favorite shows.
For sure.
Really just anything that's animated is
literally
really good.
Also, one of the things that I noticed about Steven Universe, I started watching, I was like, I don't know if I like the animation and the style. That was one of the things that I thought. I don't know why. I just didn't like it. But as the show developed, I think they changed it slightly. They just develop it a bit. And I started to really enjoy how it was animated. And I think it improved throughout from the beginning of the first season to just like the end of the first season or the midway point of the first season and then later on. So that's another thing that I noticed whilst I was watching the show.
Yeah, a lot of shows kind of evolve the art style to be a little more refined as they go on and look a little better. Like, I mean, the best reference of this that I can think of right now is not an animated, but Calvin and Hobbes, the comics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That they're very different from beginning to end. So
that's cool. I mean, even just looking at The Simpsons, I mean, I guess that's kind of obvious that it's changed a lot considering how long it's been going for. But if you look at the first episode
been around for like
and then the latest episode, it's a very different of how it's animated and whatnot.
It is, yeah.
Although I don't think it matters as much for that kind of thing, because it's not like there's no overarching plot as far as I know anyway. So it's not. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it just doesn't really matter as much as long as the characters are basically the same. It's not the end of the world if the way they're animated changes from the first season to the 30th season.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's next question?
Oh,
I like this one. This is one I came up with. But how do you think, how you got into art and animation? How do you think that's influenced the kind of animations that you make?
I mean, I started out very thinking of story time animation in different ways. So I started doing lip sync and telling stories about my life because story time animation. And then I kind of changed into a little more simplistic style, which was heavily inspired by Ice Cream Sandwich, the animator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. And then kind of just what I watch and what I'm interested in now. Because now I've kind of changed it to a less animation, but more like an animatic, kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but more like, I don't want to say quantity over quality because that doesn't make it sound good, but kind of like that.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
Where, and I mean,
you don't need perfect animation and lip sync and that kind of thing. I think it's better to have a good just a generally good kind of, what's the word? A good kind of a good atmosphere and script and recording and kind of production, I guess, and pre-production than it is to have, lip sync. Lip syncing isn't important, and I guess frame by frame animation isn't that important when it comes to storytime animations or topic based animations or that kind of animation. So I would say, you made a good decision.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that I find myself coming across, which is good but bad at the same time. I want to improve every single video I make. I want the animation to improve. Which is great, because it means, each video is different and each video is better. But it's also bad, because it means I haven't uploaded a proper video in over 2 months.
Yeah, that's what I see, it's kind of a problem with a lot of people, especially in the beginning with their first episode. Because a lot of people, including me, think their first episode needs to be perfect.
Yeah.
And good. And I'm just going to say this now to all the people who are starting out. Your first episode is not going to be good.
No, it won't.
It's not. I mean, you might think it's good when you make it, and then as you evolve and you grow and you learn more, you're going to look back at it and Whoa! Oh my god! It was mine, especially mine. Oh.
I have okay. So this was me. Picture this. Okay, you're a brand new artist, pretty much, and you see the odd ones out. You're like, right, I'm gonna do that, and you think, how can I do that with almost no art experience and zero digital art experience or animation experience? I will make a character which has yellow hair, and then, apart from that, no colour, and then sticks for arms, and the rest of the body is just extremely badly drawn. And at the point of making my first ever animation, I didn't have a concept of layers, the fill bucket tool, and then I made it. I was like, you know what, I'm happy with this. I don't know why everyone's saying, oh, the first animation you make, it won't be good. I like what I've made here. I think this is gonna do well. And then I actually didn't end up uploading it. I didn't finish it because I was like, actually, I don't want to upload this on YouTube. I want to make one specifically for YouTube, which is the channel trailer that I ended up making. But I look back on it now, and it is honestly the most abysmal animation I've ever seen. There's no animation. There's no movement. It's just one little character. I didn't know how to make layers. I didn't know how to, create new drawings. I made it all on Fire Alpaca. And I would make a drawing, I would export it, I would edit the drawing. I wouldn't even draw a new drawing. I would edit the drawing, rub stuff out, and then draw stuff back in. And so I ended up with a half-finished, trashy animation. God. I went on a full rant then, but I did not like my first video, and at the time I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm sure most people have a similar experience.
But yeah, and I mean, it's kind of hard to think of it now, but like, we're gonna look at our videos now that we're making now in the next 1 to 2 years, and we're gonna keep on getting better.
Yeah.
And we're gonna look back and say, wow, this is disgusting.
Literally. I mean, even looking back on probably 3 or 4 videos in the past, and I'm like, I do not like that animation.
Yeah.
And it's like weird how much changes.
Yeah. It is very, a lot like that. So,
we spoke about, what got you into art and animation in the first place, but is there anything that got you into, because I know, there's a difference between story time animation and then, frame by frame animation. It's different. So is there anything that, because I've seen you doing, walk cycles and stuff, and is that still kind of, inspired by story time animation?
No, it's more inspired by, quote unquote real anime.
Yeah,
but,
I know what you mean.
More like cartoons. So, kind of Steven Universe. Also, I have a book, called The Animator Survival Kit.
Do you know what? That book is open on my desk right next to me.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Every living animator
literally
reads that book.
I have read it. I'm on my second read through it.
Yeah, it's a very good
Incredible.
book. I think
highly recommend it. I'm actually going to put the link to it in the description just so anyone listening to this can get it because it's so worth it.
And also a YouTube channel called BAM Animation.
Oh, I have seen them.
They're really
I watched
cool.
a video of them about character design and also another one about character turnarounds.
Yeah, they're more they're not storytime animators, but I think they work on Rick and Morty.
Oh,
I'm not entirely sure, but they're TV animators, and they're kind of they're talking about how the animation industry works now and the different things that are used, so storyboarding and character design and perspective of backgrounds and all that stuff. So that's been a good inspiration for my more complicated animation.
Awesome. 2 channels that I've found which I think have inspired me massively. Howard Wimhurst. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but he makes very good videos on animation. If I just go to some of his latest videos, one of them is finding clients as a freelance animator. Does age impact your drawing/learning ability? Motivational speech for unconfident artists. Invaluable advice for collaborator animations. So it's that kind of thing. He also does tutorials, but it's more about it's just general animation topics that he talks about, and I find that it really inspiring to listen to. It's almost like a mini podcast. So it's, because one of the things I found with podcasts sometimes is they're quite hard to get through. If I'm listening to it and I'm like, I'll come back to it, and then I never do. So with this, it's quite nice because it's like 10-minute, 20-minute long videos of just little topics about animation stuff. So that's one thing that I really like.
Oh, that's interesting.
Another channel is Taniko Pantoja. I probably pronounced that extremely incorrect. But again, a very good channel. Does more tutorials though. But I find them really useful, like how to improve your solid drawing skills. Was moving to the United States worth it for animation? How I think about negotiation.
Oh yeah, I've heard of this. It's good.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So I think those are two channels that really got me inspired with, frame by frame or quote unquote real animation.
Real animation.
I think any animation is real animation.
Yeah.
But yeah. Another so what about, because I know with me, again, some people would say, only hand drawn animation is quote unquote real animation.
Real.
And I think it's kind of
new millennials using computers to cheat.
Yeah. I think it's definitely like worth keeping an open mind in terms of animation, because if you think about it, creating any animation, even a really poor animation, takes so much effort. So it's like saying, you're not using hand-drawn animation and taking every single photo yourself and then putting it all into a software yourself, or not even a software, and then creating the video of the animation and then doing every single little bit. That's kind of, I feel like it's just too much to ask for anyone who's getting into animation to do hand-drawn animation. I mean, like, if you want to do that, obviously do it, because that could be really fun. It could be your thing. But if you, don't stop people from doing different types of animation, like 3D or rigged or tweening or whatever. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
I think, I just think animation is an art form and people can choose to do it however they want. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
So when you were younger, when you were a child, were there any kind of things that, because I know for me there was little things that planted the seeds for my love of art and animation. Like I said with the Tom Gates books that I used to read, they were the first kind of little bit of animation. So what was the first bit of art or illustration or animation that you found that got you not necessarily even inspired, that you just enjoyed?
I don't know.
I mean,
really,
that's a fair enough answer.
I can't, I don't understand it, but me thinking I want to animate. I don't know. I didn't really do art. I went to art class when I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
And I drew stick figures sometimes, but I don't know. Just I saw Storytime animation, then I saw people doing it that were my age, and I'm just I want to do that. That sounds cool.
Yeah. I mean, I never enjoyed art. I did these little doodles. One of the first things my old art teacher said to me when I said that I was doing an art GCSE, which is I don't know what it is for Americans, but it's a big exam in the in education for my ages. GCSEs is probably it's a big thing. So when I said that I was doing art GCSE, they were like, "Are you sure?" They were really surprised, because when they did art with me, I just didn't enjoy it. But I think when you get inspired with one thing, you feel I got inspired with animation. It wasn't art. It wasn't drawing. It wasn't background art. It wasn't painting. It was animation. When you think about animation, so I wanted to do animation. I didn't care about anything else. But the fact that I want to do animation, for that, I have to be able to draw. I have to be able to, storyboard. I have to be able to make little backgrounds for animations. And because one thing to do with animation, so the fact that I wanted to animate, it made me motivated to do so many other things, even though I have no interest in them individually, the combination of them all to make an animation really inspires me. And I think that's a cool thing.
Yeah, like writing and editing and like planning shots, so kind of like filmmaking and stuff like that.
Although actually I was really inspired with filmmaking and script writing before I did animation, interestingly. That was more my thing. So that was less
Yeah. But like me liking animation, I have to do all those other things, like though some of them, even though I like do them all the time in animation, they're still like my enemy, like script writing.
Yeah.
I will procrastinate a script as much as I can.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate it so much.
For me, it's less script writing, it's more audio recording. I hate it.
Yeah.
It's the audio editing process. It's just so tedious, like picking through multiple attempts of lines and piecing them together.
Yeah.
It's like,
on that case, have fun editing this podcast.
Yeah. Oh, God.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the things that I've been thinking recently, because, okay, did you have any, like, passions of, like, other art forms? Because I know I'm a massive creative person. So before animation, I was into, like, dance and music and acting and all that. So do you have anything kind of, not necessarily dance or music or acting, but, like, anything creative that you did before?
I mean, yeah, with art, I like to kind of do, like, painting. Painting,
that's cool.
And I'll, like, or, like, kind of, I don't know how to describe it, like, charcoal sketches.
Oh, that's cool.
It's kind of, but, like, with charcoal, and that's kind of fun.
I'm actually, in my art course I'm doing right now, we're doing charcoal drawing, and I hate it. I do not enjoy it at all. So, yeah, it's cool that you... I think it's cool how everyone is so different. Someone can be in the same, I guess, like, art form, like, you know, same kind of, like, you're in the arts, right? No matter what, like, if you're drawing, painting, singing, doing music, you're animating, it's all, like, the arts. And it's so incredible how there's such variation in types of people or types of art forms.
Creativity, yeah.
Like, two people can be creative and they can be doing completely different things, but they can still kind of bond over the fact that they're being creative. And I think that's really amazing.
Yeah, and they're working on a product.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, here's a question.
Yeah.
So your character design. I really love your character design, but how did you come up with it? Like, what was the inspiration or what was the process you went through to get your character design?
Ooh. My character design, that's like its own, like, Bill Gates code sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's that's just, I don't know. It's been a mystery even to me. I just, one day, I don't know, it might have been like spirits. I had a character design before that was just awful of what it kind of actually looked like me.
Oh.
Like, I don't have white hair in real life.
But
it looked like me. And then I'm like, I don't like that, and I just tried to start sketching a new design. And then I just came up with this one. And it's changed over time.
Yeah.
It was originally just like kind of like a curve through it, kind of what it is now, and like 2 little ear bumps on the side.
Yeah.
And then it changed to the ear bumps just becoming an ear, and then the bump on the top of my head kind of looking more like hair, and not just like a big bump. To what I have, like now. And my character design has changed from like more like a stick figure, like ice cream sandwich kind of style, to a real body. The thing that's changed the most are my eyes.
Yeah.
They've changed from dots to big dots to lines to ovals to dots again. And then now
they've changed from dots to bigger dots. I love that. I love that so much.
No, but like, they changed from like, what's a good example? Like, do you know Brody Animate's eyes? They used to be like a big, like, button circles. Before they were just like dots. Like just dots, and then they became more like the Brody animated.
Yeah, I get that.
Fine, and then they became ovals, like Haminations, and then yeah, it kind of evolved, and now it's kind of more like TV animation of what they look like now. Like
honestly, exactly the same. Well, they're different. I started off with an oval, and then like a pupil, and then like an oval, you know, and then I changed it so that it was like a circle, and then like a circle inside the circle, and then I changed it so that it was just like a, I guess like a Brody Animates kind of style eye, like the button eye, as you were saying. And now I actually took massive inspiration from the new DuckTales and how they do their eyes. I love how they do their eyes. So it's like an oval and then another oval, but there's like a little kind of like a gash almost in the oval, and I think it looks really nice on the inside oval. I mean, so that's what I've gone with for my new eyes, for my new character design.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know why the eyes just seem really significant and they change a lot.
Yeah, but yeah, no. People, we change our eyes a lot.
One thing about animators, we change our eyes.
We change our eyes all the time.
What about the character designing process do you find most, like, enjoyable or exciting?
I think just the creativity of it.
Yeah.
So, like, designing the character, thinking about what would go, and then the lovely of color and shape language, which is fun.
Oh, yeah,
so, like,
yeah.
Like, trying to figure out how, like, a character makes a person feel and what would be the best situation for that.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not very good at character design. One thing that I'm finding is I'm not very good at drawing people. Like, because with my character that I've got right now, it's a person, right? But that's all I know how to draw. Like, I don't know how to draw, like, other body types or other hairstyles or other, you know, I can't draw hands. Like, I can't draw well. So one thing I'm finding really interesting is character designing and kind of learning how to draw people along with how to create people. So it's quite interesting.
Yeah, that sounds very interesting.
Yeah. So you talk about shape language and, like, colours and how that would make someone feel. So what, like, in terms of colours, do you have any, like, advice on how you could use colours and shapes?
Advice on colours?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we learned this a lot, but, like, warm and cool colors, they do have, like, a feel on what we, like, feel. So, like, for an example, I mean, mine isn't the greatest example, but I have an orange, whatever it's called. I forgot I don't know what it's called, whatever my character is wearing, but
sweatshirt kind of thing.
Like a sweater. So, yeah, I guess a sweater. Yeah. But, yeah, like, I'm wearing, like, an orange sweater, and, like, my colors are very orange and yellow, and I think that, that kind of means, but, like, that doesn't have as strong as an effect, and at least in my character, as the shape language, because I have a very circular, very round, I get kind of style. A
lot of your, I'm looking at your profile picture right now, and a lot of, like, your character, like, it's made up of multiple different shaped circles. Now that you look at it,
yeah, and I like circles a lot because I'm not very good at drawing with triangles or definitely not squares. Squares can, but yeah, I like circles a lot, and I think it just makes my characters look a lot.
I mean, honestly, because I'm really bad at, like, I mean, if you look at my character, there's no real defining shape that's used or colour that's used to create a mood. So honestly, I think, like, as I was saying earlier before we recorded this, I was saying, like, or maybe it was during the recording, I don't even know at this point. During a conversation, you learn so much in a podcast. Like, right now, I'm learning loads about character design. Just, like, you know, like, because I'm just not the best at character design. I watched a video. You were saying you watched BAM. Is it BAM Animation? I think I watched a video by them.
Yeah, they have
on character design.
They have a video on character design.
Yeah, and it was talking about, like, you know, colours and what's it called? Colours and shapes. Using colours and shapes. Yeah, and they were saying triangles you can use triangles to create, I think it was maybe like an angry character, because like,
Yeah, more like edgy.
Yeah.
Literally.
And then,
but like Bill Cipher, for an example.
Yeah.
He is literally a triangle.
Yeah. And then like circles to create more of a, I can't even remember, it wasn't more of like a chill character, I'm assuming, because
yeah, more of a happy, like Mario,
and
Kirby. They're very circular.
Kind of more,
especially Kirby.
I guess more positive, I guess.
Yeah, more positive.
So I think that's really interesting. But I'm not the best at doing that kind of thing. So the fact that like I can now, like, I'm gonna use this podcast as a reference next time I doing character design. I can like look back at it and I'm like, okay, so things about character design. This. Ooh, let's talk about the Animator Survival Kit. The Animators, the book.
Ooh.
That's it. So I haven't actually read the entire book. I started reading it when I first got into animation, and I read through it, I was like, yeah, that's interesting. But I wasn't really doing proper animation. I was doing like, storytime animation, which is like, I wasn't doing real, quote unquote, real animation. So it didn't, I didn't really care about much of it. Like, I didn't really want to animate a walk cycle. I didn't care if I was animating on 2s or 1s. I didn't want to use an X sheet to plan out my animations. I didn't really care about any of that. But now that I'm doing more animation, I've gone back to the beginning and I've started reading through it again. I'm on page 123 right now, actually. So, have you read through that? Have you have you looked through that?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, not like in all one, like in a row, but I've pretty much read through the entire thing in like bits and pieces.
So, was there anything specifically that you got in there like that maybe caught your attention or that inspired you?
I mean, I use the walk cycles page a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
With that. And also, I think animating on 1s and 2s and 3s is very interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Because a lot, like, animating on 1s is very rare, and it happens sometimes, but, like, it's just more work for yourself most of the time. Because animating on 2s is, if it's it can be still a nice, smooth animation, and you're cutting half the workload off.
So do you animate on 1s or 2s?
Half of the amount.
That's the question.
I mean, I mostly animate on 2s or 3s, depending on the movement.
Yeah.
Like slower animations, I'll animate on 3s, and faster, I'll animate. And if it's like really fast, I'll animate on 1s. Like, but like a walk cycle, I animate on 2s.
See, that's really interesting because I don't know how to animate on 2s. That's one thing that I'm finding because I feel like because I've only ever animated on 1s. So like whenever I plan out my walk cycles, I think, okay, so it will take this many frames to do this walk. But then when I end up animating that and I put it on 2s, it's like, this just feels choppy. When I look at it, it looks choppy. And I think that's just because I haven't done it enough. I haven't animated on 2s. So whenever I animate, I always animate on 1s because that's just what I know. But I definitely think it's worth changing to try and animate more on 2s.
I mean, when you're animating on 2s, you have to think a lot more. I mean, obviously, animating on 1s is gonna be slightly better because it's obviously it's smoother, it's more frames. But like, it's one of those work smart, not hard situations of you don't need to do twice this work for something that a person's not even gonna notice.
Yeah.
But you gotta make sure, like, if you're gonna animate on 2s, you gotta find out which poses are essential to the movement.
Yeah.
To make sure that you're getting your point across through the animation.
Mm-hmm, for sure. Also, one thing that I found about animating, because I did, like, if you look through my videos, some of them are animated on 2s. Like, when I first did frame-by-frame animation, I'd animate it on 2s. 2s. And
2s.
And I don't know, I found it really hard to find the correct balance of making the movement slower on 2s or quicker on 1s, but if they're quicker on 1s, it means that the pose, it's static. When it reaches there, it's just a static pose, right? So then, one thing that I've found difficult is making animations believable. Because all my storytime animations, they're not believable at all. It's just like, you can tell that it's a drawing going to a pose, and then a drawing going to another pose. and then a drawing going to another pose. It's not like a human talking and moving their arms naturally. It's just...
I mean, yeah, but, like, animations like those take a ridiculous... Like, a full... Like a Disney...
Yeah.
Like, a Disney movie takes a lot of people, but, like, that's also where you can shine... Because, like, a lot of people take to make a movie at that production value, but 5 or 10 seconds of that production value can be done by one person.
Exactly, yeah. Also, one thing that I found amazing, I was researching a bit, is, like, how, like animators, I don't know if this still happens even, but, like, I know that back when, you know, because I haven't really done much research into modern 2D animation, if I'm honest, I haven't really. But, like, you know, they'd have, like, one animator animating a character. And I think that would just be so amazing to have this character and have it as yours, and you animate that character. And I think that's really amazing. But,
yeah, that does sound very interesting.
So I think I think part of it is that I don't lip sync, because if I lip sync, there'll be movement, right? No matter what, there'll be movement.
Yeah.
So I think that would be part of it, but I don't know.
Sometimes there doesn't always need to be. I mean, it depends.
Yeah, it depends what
Obviously,
you're going
if you're going for a more realistic and lip sync is good, but like for me, my style as I developed it, it doesn't really. I don't really require lip sync anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think.
So I think that's really lucky. I think that's basically kind of what I'm working towards. That's what I want to. That's what I want to get to. I want to get to a point where I don't need lip sync to distract from the lack of movement in my characters. One thing that this just popped into my head. So, because when I started animating characters more, I would look at people. Like I was talking with my sister after I just been animating, and we were having a chat, and I just went, Elsie, can you just talk? Can you just talk for a bit? And I would watch and I would observe and be like, So when she moves like that, that's the kind of thing that she does. And she has little things that are different to what I would do. And I just started observing how people would move and how they would talk and how they would, like, different mannerisms. And I think it's kind of weird. Like, I would find it hard to not get distracted by how people were moving and then think, ooh, if I animated that, what would I do?
Yeah, that happens a lot. And then, like, every animator looks in the mirror and goes like,
yeah, literally.
Just looking at what their mouth does. Yeah.
I remember, I don't know if you, on my Discord profile, if you look there, when I talk, I start spinning. I made a little character turnaround. And
it looks really good.
Yeah, I that was my pride and joy. It was my first, like, time do it. It was my first ever character turnaround. I was really happy with it. But,
I made a character.
I saw it.
Not look that good at all.
No, it was good.
But yours, like, you can see that the hair... Like, talk right now.
Yeah.
Your hair, you can see that it's especially, like, your hair looks so three-dimensional.
That was the thing that I was really surprised about. Because the hair I just made up, I really just thought, okay, so I'm going to draw it, and as I draw it, I'll just make it a bit thinner. I'll just make the hair a bit thinner and see if it works. And I did it. I was like, wow, that looks like an actual person with 3D hair.
Yeah.
But I think with the character turnaround, what was I going to say? Yeah, I would look in the mirror and I would just, okay, so I'm standing like this. What do I look like? Oh, I'll move to the side a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is what I look like. I'll move to the side again. I just have a mirror in my room. So every now and then if I'm animating, I'll move over and like, okay, so, my face looks like this. Ooh, I'm going to do this movement. Okay, I'll maybe take a little picture of that. Okay, I'll have that up next to me. Ooh, what does that look like? And it's just...
Yeah.
Because I remember when I first started animating, I think the whole thing with me, in terms of, like, I guess my animation journey, it's like, you know, I've gone from doing animation because I've seen other people do it and it looks pretty cool, to then doing animation because I enjoy the art of animation, not just because, I want to get some YouTube content out. So then, like... Yeah. I would look at, like, actual professional animators, and they would say all this stuff, and it would be like, and they maybe in a conversation with someone that they recorded, like, for a podcast, and everyone would be like, oh, yeah, I relate to this so much, I'm an animator, and I really relate to this, and I'm like, I don't. You know, I don't look at people and see their mannerisms. I don't look in the mirror and make funny faces to see how my mouth moves. Like, I didn't get that. But now, as I've gotten kind of deeper into the animation world and, you know, I've started, starting to actually relate to everything they're saying. And that's really exciting. It's like, wait a second, I'm kind of an animator at this point.
Yeah.
So I think that's really cool. Oh, so you said you enjoyed painting. So what got you into that? Did you do that before you did animation, or was that kind of a product of animation?
No, I mean, I did it in, like, art class once.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In, like, elementary school. And then I went to a class that's, focused on art. Not, like, animation, but, like, art.
Yeah.
Very realistic art, which I'm not very good at. But yeah,
same.
It was focused on that, and that's kind of fun to do.
Yeah, awesome.
It was, yeah.
So, do you draw, like, do you draw, like, landscapes? Do you draw people or shapes or objects? I don't know.
I mostly draw people.
Yeah.
Like, not like, sometimes, but mostly, like, portraits. They don't look very good, but I don't think that's, like, the main.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
I'm not, like, one of those people who can, like, make something that looks like a photo, but...
Yeah. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter if it looks good. If you're enjoying it and you're learning something from it, then it's totally worth it.
Yeah. I think that is...
Although I bet, like, I don't know, I bet you say, oh, it doesn't look good, and then I would look at it and be like, oh my god, that's incredible, you know? Like, if it's yours, you always assume the worst for it. That's something that I found out.
Ooh. Always, yes.
Like, I do something and I'm like, oh, this looks awful. And then I show it to someone else and I'm like, oh my god, that's so incredible.
Yeah. I remember I showed a video to my family.
Yeah.
Of my animation video, and they were like, at the end, they were like, oh, this is so good. And I'm like, the audio was 0.3 seconds off from the lip sync. It's absolutely horrible.
Literally.
No, but like, I know I sound ridiculous, but
Yeah.
I'm looking at the video. I'm not going to tell you which one. Because that's just going to...
For sure.
Okay, no, I will. It's backpacking. It's the backpacking video I made.
Uh-huh. Oh, I want to...
If you focus really hard on it, especially at the very end, the lip sync is like 0.3 seconds off.
I'm literally just going to listen to it right now.
Oh, it hurts. Oh, it hurts so much. But yeah, like, you wouldn't normal people wouldn't just realize that.
Yeah. I don't see anything wrong with it.
You have to, like, go into it if...
I can kind of see that it's not, like, every mouth shape is precise to where it's saying, but then again, it's like, that really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. No one will notice that.
Yeah.
Apart from you, because you've made it and you can tell from the animation process.
Because I've made it, and, like, yeah.
Yeah. That was it. So you said you're not the best at realistic art. Neither am I.
No.
But, like, have you... Because, I don't know, you said you've read through the Animator Survival Kit. There's massive focus at the beginning on, like, figure drawing and stuff. Have you ever tried any of that?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, not, like, in depth, but, like, for 1 or 2 minutes as a warm-up.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of getting a feel for movement. That's all very... Yeah, like that. I've also done a blind contour before, which is basically you have your paper and then you don't look at the paper and you look at someone else, and you can't take your hand off the pencil, like you can't take the pencil off the paper, and you can't look. So you have to kind of just feel where it is, and it looks awful, but it's it's not supposed to look good. It's just an exercise.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, it's very...
So, because I've tried figure drawing. I've looked on, those websites where they have reference pictures and stuff. I've done all that, and I've failed massively. I cannot draw the human body.
Yeah.
So, like, that's one of the things that I've always really wanted to be able to do, especially now with my animation and stuff. I've really wanted to be able to, like, draw someone. But I really struggle. So do you have any tips for that? Even if you're not very good at it, it doesn't really matter. Everyone has some sort of advice.
Here's the tip that keeps on getting tossed around and people hate it. Just practice. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No.
I'm sorry.
But it makes sense.
Obviously, look up tutorials, take classes.
Yeah.
Draw every day is a big one. Like, get good at drawing, you actually have to draw.
One thing that I remember when I was first starting animation, was like, everyone was like, yeah, practice. I was like, yeah, but what do I practice? How do I practice?
Yeah, what do you practice?
But then I realized,
and I mean, yeah,
with my animations anyway, the best way to practice is just by doing it. Like with me right now, I'm really struggling with drawing the human figure, right? But at the moment, I'm making a walk cycle. And for that walk cycle, I have to draw the human figure. So even just by doing that walk cycle, I'm learning loads about how to draw a person. So I think that's one of the best ways to practice, is just by doing maybe other stuff that will still help with what you're doing.
And that's like, that's also another reason why you can't just get caught up on how you need to make your first video perfect.
Yeah.
Because it won't look good. Your first video won't look good.
Every video is a learning experience.
You practice it. If you gotta not make a good video, you gotta keep on making videos. Keep on making them.
For sure, yeah.
And you'll get better with every one. So it's with practice. You'll get better.
Yeah. Thank you for watching or just listening to this podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share. Check out my Twitch and my Twitter. All links to everything will be in the description. We've got the new stuff coming soon and hopefully more often. So just thank you so much for watching.